I find myself in a situation that I never thought I would be in, one that fills me with a whirlwind of emotions I can barely contain. I hope you can provide some clarity, as my heart feels like it's caught in a tempest, and I can't see a way out. It all began at a company retreat, a seemingly innocent event designed to foster team spirit and camaraderie. I remember the moment vividly. It was a crisp autumn afternoon, and the leaves had just started to turn. The air was filled with the scent of pine and the soft murmur of the nearby stream. I was standing by the bonfire, warming my hands, when I saw him. He had an easy smile and an air of quiet confidence that drew me in. We were paired up for a team-building exercise, and that was when the connection began. We laughed and shared stories, finding common ground in our passions and dreams. It was as if the world had faded away, leaving just the two of us in our own bubble. Our conversations flowed effortlessly, each word a bridge that drew us closer. At first, it was all so innocent. We talked about work, our hobbies, and the books we loved. But as the retreat went on, our conversations grew deeper, more personal. We shared our fears and our hopes, our triumphs and our failures. There was a sense of understanding between us that I had never experienced before. It was intoxicating. Returning to the office after the retreat, I couldn't shake the feeling of wanting to be near him, to continue those deep, soul-bearing conversations. We started having lunch together, then coffee breaks. Each meeting felt like a stolen moment, a secret that only we shared. My heart would race at the sight of him, and I began to realize that this was more than just a friendship. As the days turned into weeks, our bond grew stronger. We started texting after work, sharing thoughts that we couldn't voice in the light of day. There was an unspoken understanding that what we had was special, but also dangerous. We were both married, bound by vows and responsibilities that we couldn't simply cast aside. The first time we kissed, it felt like crossing an invisible line that we had danced around for so long. It was tender, hesitant, yet filled with a passion that left us both breathless. We pulled away, staring at each other with a mixture of guilt and desire. We knew we had stepped into a forbidden territory, but there was no turning back. Our meetings became more clandestine. We would find hidden corners in the office, take long walks in the park, and occasionally, meet at a small cafe far from our usual haunts. Every touch, every stolen glance, was a reminder of the risks we were taking. We were playing with fire, and the heat was both thrilling and terrifying. It wasn't long before the secrecy started to weigh on us. The guilt was a constant companion, gnawing at the edges of our happiness. We both loved our spouses, respected them even, but what we had found in each other was something that neither of us could deny. It was a connection that transcended the ordinary, a meeting of souls that felt like destiny. The day our spouses found out was inevitable. Secrets have a way of coming to light, no matter how careful you are. It happened suddenly, a mislaid text message that was read by the wrong eyes. The fallout was immediate and devastating. There were tears, accusations, and the shattering of trust that had taken years to build. I found myself standing in the wreckage of my marriage, questioning every decision that had led me to this point. My spouse was hurt, betrayed, and I couldn't find the words to explain the unexplainable. How do you justify an affair of the heart, one that had blossomed in the shadows? How do you explain a love that was never meant to be? We had to face the consequences of our actions. There were long, painful conversations, filled with anger and sadness. We had to confront the reality of our feelings, the choices we had made, and the people we had hurt. It was a time of deep introspection, a reckoning that stripped us down to our very core. In the midst of this turmoil, I also had to deal with the fallout at work. Our colleagues had their suspicions, and the office became a minefield of whispers and judgmental glances. The professional facade we had maintained was crumbling, and I found it increasingly difficult to focus on my responsibilities. My spouse and I sought counseling, trying to navigate the turbulent waters of our relationship. It was a process filled with ups and downs, moments of hope and despair. We had to rebuild the trust that had been broken, a task that seemed insurmountable at times. There were days when it felt like we were making progress, and others when the weight of our past mistakes threatened to drown us. Through it all, I couldn't shake my feelings for him. He was a constant presence in my mind, a reminder of the connection we had shared. We tried to maintain our distance, knowing that any further contact would only complicate things. But the longing was always there, a persistent ache that refused to fade. As the months passed, I began to see the cracks in my own marriage more clearly. The affair had forced me to confront the issues that had been simmering beneath the surface for years. It wasn't just about the excitement and passion that I had found in him, it was also about the emotional void that had existed in my marriage. We had become so caught up in the routine of our lives that we had forgotten how to truly connect with each other. Our conversations had become superficial, our time together often overshadowed by the demands of work and family. The affair had been a wake-up call, a painful reminder of what was missing. In the end, my spouse and I decided to separate. It was a heart-wrenching decision, but one that felt necessary. We both needed time and space to heal, to rediscover ourselves outside of the confines of our marriage. It wasn't an easy process, and there were moments of doubt and regret. But ultimately, we knew it was the right choice for us. As for him, he faced his own struggles. His marriage had also been deeply affected, and he had to deal with the repercussions of our actions. We both had to come to terms with the fact that our relationship, as beautiful and intense as it had been, had caused immense pain to those we loved. In the quiet moments of reflection, I often wondered if things could have been different. If we had met at a different time, under different circumstances, would we have been able to pursue our love without the burden of guilt and secrecy? It's a question that lingers in my mind, a haunting what-if that I can't seem to shake. Now, as I navigate this new chapter of my life, I am trying to focus on healing and self-discovery. I am learning to forgive myself, to understand that mistakes are a part of being human. The journey is far from over, but I am hopeful that I will emerge stronger and wiser from this experience. I hope you can offer some guidance. How do I move forward from here? How do I reconcile the love I felt with the pain I caused? And most importantly, how do I find peace in the shadows of my past? Sincerely, a soul searching for answers.